Good afternoon, family. I'm Curtis Cheatham Jr., and welcome to This Week in Black America Top 5 edition. And here's a rundown of the top 5 highlights from this past week. The tragic shooting of MAGA activist Charlie Kirk continues to unfold, and we'll share the latest information and discuss some of the implications and ramifications. The Supreme Court greenlit racial profiling as a tool for ICE. We'll discuss what that means. Operation Midway Blitz has begun in Chicago as Trump ramps up his immigration efforts in the Windy City. And there's been some movement regarding the removal of Fed Governor Lisa Cook as the courts have weighed in. So we'll get into the latest on that. And there's been a major development in the country of Burkina Faso, and that will require a nuanced conversation, and we'll begin that right here, along with so much more on This Week in Black America, Top 5 edition. And I got my brother back with me. He's all refreshed and ready to go. My brother Deshaun is here with me. Congratulations, brother, and welcome.
Well, thank you, brother. I know when you say congratulations, you will share with the audience kind of how we've approached this whole thing. But I miss being in this chair side by side. Missed you, the Meraki media team, Mickey and Meraki in the background. 2 weeks ago, I was on vacation with my wife for our anniversary, and then last week I was not feeling well at all. So you guys, held the fort down while I wasn't here, but I miss being here. I'm happy to be back. You guys, of course, did a wonderful job keeping the co-hosts and the audience up to speed while I was away, and keeping everybody up to speed. For those of you who don't know, we're here every Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. This is This Week in Black America, where we discuss not just everything that happened in America or around the world, but specifically how it affects us as Black Americans and those in the diaspora here. So if this is your first time here, hit the like button if you're going to spend a couple minutes with us, and keep your fingers by your keyboard, because we're a dialogue show. We like you to stay active. We like to bring your comments onto the show, onto the screen here. We're live on the Brother Deshaun and Hello Black America YouTube page, as well as the Brother Deshaun Facebook page. So we got some heavy topics to discuss. Obviously, anybody who's opened their phone this week has seen there's been some, very serious things that have taken place this week. The most notably is the unaliving of, as you said on the intro, MAGA activist Charlie Kirk. But we also have some lighthearted things we want to discuss, and hopefully in the show on a fun note. So, Curtis, maybe you can get into a little bit of the rundown and kind of where we want to go and where we want to set up, and let's get this thing let's get this up to speed.
Well, first of all, some of you who are regulars with us may be wondering, what does the top 5 edition mean? I said this was the top 5 edition of This Week in Black America. I just want to start out the show before we get into some of these heavier topics, congratulating my brother Deshaun for, as we put it, he gave birth to something this week. Now, I know that language may sound a little strange when we're talking about my brother here, but he gave birth to something that I believe goes back. He mentioned this to me the very first time we spoke together over a year ago at this point. And he brought this up as an idea, and congratulations to you, brother, because the idea that you came up with in your head, actually you've had the fortitude and the perseverance to follow that through to completion. And you gave birth to something beautiful this week. And it's a new game. It's a new game called Top 5. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been excited about this because he, originally he told me about this, like I said, last year, and he's at the time they were planning to have this out like for the holidays of last year, and I was spending time with my family that during the holiday, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have this ready to go, but we're gonna be able to play these games when we get together over the holidays. It didn't quite work out that way. But, sometimes when you come into obstacles, you have to overcome them, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the case here. And Brother Deshaun, can you just give us a quick highlight of what this is. You know, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but I do want to you know, we have to congratulate ourselves. We have to celebrate our own successes. When we have one such as this, we want to celebrate it. So first of all, congratulations to you for your perseverance, brother. Can you just give our co-host a little bit of a high level understanding of what this is? It's an outstanding game. I'm just going to tell you. I'm just going to give you my opinion right off the top. But go ahead.
Thank you so much. No, thank you so much. And you, me, and Mickey played. Kawan and Meraki started playing before he went down. So we ended up playing the game, and most of you have already played it. We just really made it official. If you go to jointop5.com, you can see the game's totally free. It's a family game. It's not a gambling game. And it's a game that, again, every time you've talked about your favorite anything, your favorite, theme songs, theme music, your favorite sitcoms from the 90s, the nostalgia, candy bars from your childhood, or your favorite shows now, your favorite NBA players, your top 5, just everything, horror movies, villains, X-Men characters. We have over 130 categories loaded into top 5. And what we find, Curtis, is the same thing when we played the first time. It's a game you end up debating your favorites, but you also end up discovering a lot of things you have in common. And you can it's just an incredible time. Everybody that we played it with, you and I and Mickey the other day, we said, what did we play for? About 45 minutes. But then I looked at the time. It was actually 2 hours. It was actually 2 hours. So what I hope and pray for this game is it brings a lot of people together. It shows you how much we have in common, and it just creates some incredible discussion. Everybody's going to be on dates bringing out top 5. You're going to be you're going to want to know if your prospective suitor is a fan of holiday movies. You might know every time the holidays come around, you're doing Christmas in July, you're doing all of that, you're doing the Hallmark Channel in July, and then this person doesn't even like holiday movies. That's probably not going to go that far, so it's all different types of things. So by the end of your session, you learn a lot about a person, you learn a lot about yourself, and you go through some nostalgia, your childhood. Again, all stuff we've seen. So I'd love for you guys to play it, share your feedback, and if you use your referral code to download to bring on 25 other players with your referral code, we actually took 1% of the company, and you're gonna own that 1%. So everyone it's called the Founders Club. So when you download Top 5, you go to your profile, you get your referral code, you share it with your friends and your family, your coworkers, and as you get to once 25 people enroll, you're permanently set up in the Founders Club, where instead of us raising money or going to the public, we're going to the people who already help grow games. I mean, look at how many things we've grown that we have gotten nothing for. Right. If they gave us 1% of Facebook, if you shared Facebook with all of your friends and they gave us 1% of Facebook, I mean, we'd have a check coming from Facebook every single month. So, or every quarter or every year. Right. So we believe Top 5 can be a billion-player game, and but it starts out with just people playing it now and enjoying it. So, jointop5.com, go download it. It's free. Play it, and I really hope you enjoy it.
Congratulations again. Now I'm going to put out some cautions here. If you don't, now this is going to encourage you to speak to your family or to whoever you are. If you're dating someone or you're just in a group of friends, it's going to stimulate conversation, and the conversation may not be, so civil. I can see there's a possibility here. So I just want to forewarn you that it could lead to some debates, and who knows, depending on the temperament in your home or in your relationship, that could be some heated debate. So just I told I was kidding with Brother Deshaun the other day and told him he's going to break up a lot of a lot of potential partnerships. They might want to do this a little bit later and once their relationship solidifies a little bit more, they may want to move into playing this game together at that point. But and I snuck in my referral code. Hey,
in the chat.
I'm trying to get in the Founders Club. I don't know what's about y'all, but I'm just letting you know. Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. No, I'm so glad. I am so glad. And you just find out about a person. I'm playing with my wife and I'm playing with my father. I'm finding out stuff that they like that I didn't even know they like. My father top 5 sitcoms is Three's Company. I would have never knew that.
Yeah.
I knew Honeymooners.
I take that consideration myself.
Yeah, I mean Honeymooners, I Love Lucy, you got but when he threw out Three's Company, I'm like, oh, Three's Company? Nah. He's like, yeah, I love it, man. I watch it all day. I'm like,
come and knock on a door.
Right, I'm just saying. Great theme song. I don't know if it's top 5, but listen, I wouldn't. Jack
I
Ritter,
enjoyed that show.
It's a good show. Don't get me wrong. Is it top 5 though? Is it top 5? Sitcom all time.
And that's where the conversation comes in. So,
you got Martin, you got Golden Girls, you got Cosby Show, you got Three's Company.
Yeah.
All right. So again, you guys see just from the initial tone how if you got to stand on what what your preferences are. There's no winners or losers. It's your preferences. If Three's Company is in your top 5, stand on it, own it.
Listen. And because people have different life experiences, you may get some shows that you never even thought of that get thrown into the equation, or some whatever you're talking about. So that's what I think is exciting about this, is that depending on who you are and who you're in the conversation with, they're going to bring things to the table that perhaps you never considered. And I think that in the time and space that we're in here in our country, is that more than anything, we need to be able to have conversations. And sadly enough, I think that one of the reasons we find ourselves in the position we are today is because we haven't been trained in the art of speaking to people civilly, having conversations, listening to what someone says, and then offering a response based on what they said, not on what you already had in your mind to say. A lot of times people are having a conversation, and when the one person is speaking, you're not even listening to what they're saying because you're already in your mind trying to figure out what you're going to say next, or what, you're waiting to jump in like double dutch. You're just like, yeah, I'm waiting. I'm going to jump in. I got something good. I'm going to get them. So
sometimes you can't even wait for them to finish the sentence. You're like, yeah, but
exactly.
And it's like, oh, I'm still talking though. It's no way you can hear me and you're ready to talk. So conversations
gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, we call this the world's first native conversation game. So again, we'll be talking about it throughout the show. For those of you who are new here, we always say, stay by your keyboards, bring your dialogue. We bring all your comments onto the show in the screen, and we have found that the conversations that come from top 5 are really good. I've played the game with so many different people, maybe 15 different individually, different types of people, the people opening up the bank account, the developers who made the game. And it's amazing just how much, we have in common. And I think that's what we hope brings a lot of healing to households, to families, friendships, coworkers, is just really seeing that we have so much more in common than we have differences. So hopefully we bring a lot of joy, and our goal is to be, the most popular, one of the most popular games for the holidays. So we really want to push. We're gonna be doing a lot of promoting of top 5. But I think when you consider when you play it with your friends, play it with your family, I think you'll see that it's unlike anything that's been out here. Absolutely.
So let's ease our way into some of the stories of the past week. And, this is going to be, we were just having a conversation, before getting started. This is a difficult week. You know, and I mean, listen, we kind of say this a lot of times, is that the news of the week is sometimes heavy. And if you haven't been following it, you know, it can be depressing when you're, frankly, when you are immersed in the news, as we are trying to make sure we bring information to our audience that they may not have seen. But this past week, the Supreme Court weighed in again, and I don't know that we can really even take the Supreme Court seriously at this point, because, you know, it's been stacked, obviously. You know, this Trump administration and the Republicans stole, and I can use that word, stole a nomination from the Obama presidency, and then went on to add a couple more in the years that followed. So it's like now, you know, he's got a complete solid majority of sycophants. I mean, people who are really Trump loyalists in the Supreme Court, not to mention, obviously, the executive and judicial branches as well. But so the Supreme Court weighed in this week on an issue regarding racial profiling and the way the Trump administration has been using the ICE agents. Brother Deshaun, do you want to give us the highlights of that, or lowlights, as it were, on that?
Yeah, yeah, sure. This is according to our friends at Black Information Network via Huffington Post. They said the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 that ICE agents may use race, language, location, and job type as factors in immigration stops. That was not I read that correctly, just for those of you listening. Talk about that's not racial profiling. That's a racial profiling on a whole nother level. Steroids, yes. Justice Brett Kavanaugh. A lot of you guys may remember that name because he was appointed by Trump.
He was the drunk dude that did the blackface.
All of them. Everybody who has to drink. You're not going to be on Trump's cabinet if you're not a drinker. Justice Kavanaugh wrote that apparent ethnicity could be considered alongside other indicators, while dismissing Fourth Amendment concerns by calling such questioning typically brief. In dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor warned the ruling means anyone who looks Latino, speaks Spanish, and works a low-wage job could be seized, calling it a dangerous step towards legitimizing racial profiling. Absolutely. What do you guys in the studio audience think about that? Co-host, what do you think about us being now? You can look at us and try to determine if we look like a migrant at this point now. Mm-hmm. Now we're no longer just looking at criminals. We're no longer just finding people who were sent out. You were sent out with a list of names. Here he is. This is where she is. This is what she did. This is what. No, now we're going in anyone who just looks like a migrant. Let's snatch them up. Get Black with me in the building. What do you think about that, Curtis, and our co-host?
You know what? Let me just draw a little bit of a scenario. You and three of your friends meet up in front of a Lowe's because, you know, you're each doing work on your home, and you catch each other in front of the Lowe's, and you just stop and have a conversation. One of them happens to maybe be West Indian, has a little bit of an accent. You know, in theory, now, because one of them speaks with an accent and several of them are racially ambiguous, you know, they're a little dark. I don't know. They could be something. I don't know if they're Haitian or from some African country that I don't know. So, yeah. Now this ruling says that they legitimately can come up to you and, like, basically harass you, like get your information, trying to find out who you are, your country of origin, all those sort of things, even possibly detain you based on those factors alone. So I don't know, maybe my example is a little ridiculous, but I want you to, as you read the factors such as race, language, accent, location, job type. So if you're a bunch of dishwashers you know,
Job
or
type.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you speak Spanish, and
Yep.
you and your buddies are hanging out. You are now under the purview of stop and frisk, essentially. And those of us who are in the Northeast are familiar with the stop and frisk terminology because it's a big thing in New York City for years and years, and they're circling back on that now. So, get black with me.
Yeah. She gave a new, also for those who may be looking at applying for the Trump administration, besides being a drunk, you must also grab women's crotches.
Now, I'm not going to hold you, but I'm going to go take a little bit of an aside here. Have you seen the commercials for ICE agents on TV?
I haven't.
They are actively advertising that they are hiring ICE agents. So, they're using a budget to spend a lot of money on TV ads to promote the fact that they're offering a $50,000 signing bonus. Did you hear me?
Yep.
A $50,000 signing bonus to work for ICE. And I've heard that their salaries are in like the $90K area.
Sure. Well, they just took their annual budget with the big, beautiful bill from somewhere around 10 million to close to 30 million, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody double check for me, the Meraki team, Mickey, if you could look that up. I believe ICE's budget now per year is $30 billion.
That's a lot of money. That's with a B.
You got enough to spend on some commercials and social media ads.
But who's going to go work for ICE? I mean, listen.
You wear a mask.
That's true too. You ain't got to tell your friends. You ain't got to tell your friends or anything that you work for ICE because you wear a mask every day.
Now, a couple of our people, we gonna know. Hold up, wait a minute, ain't that? Hold up, is that Roscoe? That is Roscoe.
No, it ain't me. It wasn't
me. Bro, you got a tattoo across your forehead, bro. We know that's you, bro. I need this money.
Mrs. Murphy says all money ain't good money, and that is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. And if you got to sell out your fellow citizens and wear a mask to work because of what you're doing may or may not be legal, I don't know if that's good money.
Well, Get Black With Me said the Supreme Court needs to be abolished. Lifetime appointments are undemocratic.
I agree.
What do you think about that?
I don't agree necessarily. Well, I wouldn't go as far as to say the Supreme Court needs to be abolished, but it certainly needs to be
reformed.
Absolutely, because there's no ethical regulations that they're beholden to. The lifetime appointments thing, I do think, causes a problem.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
There are certainly some problems with the way the Supreme Court is currently constituted, and that needs to maybe be looked into. But right now, this country has no appetite to do anything that seems like the right thing, frankly.
No.
But you know, what are you going to do?
There's no reason to.
The media team chimed in here. The budget for ICE 4-year funding total $75 billion over 4 years, running through September 2029. That's a lot of money.
For fiscal year,
$75 billion?
Just to add to that from Mickey, for fiscal year 2025, ICE's annual budget is roughly $28 billion. So just under 30, nearly triple what it was in fiscal year 2024. So this is what we're dealing with. You have an unlimited amount of money.
What are you doing with all this money?
Running ads and hiring people. You know, it's crazy. Because what's so crazy, can anybody let me know your opinion on this? Really, how are we using all these resources and we're grabbing one person at a time? It's even 7. They're sending 3 trucks. 3 trucks, 8 people, 10 people to get one person. Yeah. This cannot be an effective use of money. We're not grabbing 20, 50, 100 at a time. No, it's one person they're getting, and they needed to send 3 trucks and 17 people. It's crazy.
Effective use of money is not a factor in this because it was all a smokescreen to this whole Doge thing was a smokescreen. they're no more interested in being efficient with the way money is spent. No, they're not. It's not even on their list. They're trying to, looks like they're trying to bankrupt the country, frankly. But
yes, which has been my theory for a couple, while.
I mean, they're just spending money recklessly. Now, this is all right. So let's move this into the conversation. It's kind of the elephant in the room, frankly, today. Let's move the conversation into the Charlie Kirk killing. I'm sorry, I don't. Unalived isn't a word where I came from. So
yeah,
the man was killed. He was murdered. I won't even use the word assassinated because he's just a citizen like you and I. And there are various degrees of this that we need to get into. But if you want to just kind of give us the summary of, I mean, some people may not know what's been going on in the last couple of days, but can you just give us the highlights of what's going on with this story at this point?
Yeah, sure. This is also from Black Information Network. It says conservative leader Charlie Kirk was fatally shot at Utah Valley University, sparking an outpouring of outrage from former President Donald Trump and his allies. Oh, why does that say former president?
Yeah,
from President Donald Trump and his allies. Trump accused Democrats of inciting political violence, saying radical left rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism we're seeing in our country. Prominent figures, including Elon Musk, Laura Loomer, and libs of TikTok, escalated rhetoric online, with some declaring this is war, calling the left a party of murder. We've had breaking news or recent news come out this morning that they've apprehended the suspect, and the apprehension of the suspect, actually,
22,
hold on,
22-year-old.
22-year-old, says his name is Tyler Robinson.
Yes.
Has been arrested in connection with the fatal shooting. Says Robinson allegedly confessed or strongly suggested responsibility to a family member who then alerted a friend. I mean, there's so many things that we need to unpack concerning this. Let me just ask you, when it first happened, Curtis, and those in the studio audience, our co-hosts, please make sure you're typing. We're going to bring all your comments onto the screen. We want to certainly dialogue with you. Hey, Anita, checking in. What did you guys think? And Curtis, what did you think when you first kind of heard the news? That church, did you see it? Did you hear it? What was kind of the first notification, and then once you found out that he had passed?
So I got this story in kind of piecemeals. I get notifications on my phone, but I don't always necessarily look at them at the moment. And I saw something about Charlie Kirk. I honestly didn't even look at it because Charlie Kirk is not on my radar like that. I've maybe seen a couple of clips of his, but I don't actively go seek out his information because I knew what he was about, essentially. So it's not something that I was going to seek out. And then once I realized, that he had actually been shot, and then to go on and find out that he actually had died as a result of his wounds, it was even more surreal. Now, and I'm going to have the nuanced conversation. I hope our audience is sophisticated enough, I believe they are, to have this kind of nuanced conversation. I never want to see anybody lose their life. It's sad that a man who is a father, has 2 children, was basically killed for what he had to say. And unfortunately, kind of circling back to something we talked about at the beginning of the show, is that our country is woefully underprepared to have conversations. And, he would say some controversial things, some things that were meant to, I'm sure, to incite controversy in this, the world we live in, where everybody's seeking likes and engagement. Controversy sells. And this guy was as controversial as they come. But there's nothing in my mind that he said that warranted the loss of his life. the shooting of him.
Right.
Now, the ironic thing, or I don't know what the word is there, but if you go back and listen, and I just like caught it on ABC Nightly News, he was actually making a statement about gun violence when that shot echoed out and that took his life.
Yeah.
So
he's been very pro-gun. He's been very pro-gun.
No, absolutely. But yes.
Yeah, no, he's been very pro-gun.
One of his full statements.
Yeah, is that
he doesn't mind
if
a few people get hurt.
Yeah, there's going to be some casualties. You know, some basically some what happened to him. That's going to be basically par for the course, and that went out. When I first saw it, about maybe 15, 20 minutes after it really started going through the waves that he had been shot, and I saw the video, and I can't normally watch videos with blood, but he got hit. It was such a, you know, he got shot directly in the neck, and the amount of blood that you just saw coming out of his neck instantly, it just did not look like he was going to make it. It was so bad. And then
you get that carotid artery. That's a lot.
It definitely looked like there was an artery hit. Which again, now let's go, because I said we have so much to unpack. It seemed like a very trained shooter. It seemed like, you know, an average shooter, if they're in the audience as far back as the audience was, it's hard to make that shot with a handgun and hit somebody, much less to find out the guy's 200 yards away on top of a building. That's a trained shooter, in my opinion. So if it's a trained shooter, who hired him? And I was saying, up until we had a suspect, I was saying that if they don't catch him, then that means because again, there's only a couple people in this country, I think, that can take somebody out and not get caught. You know, the same people who sent the people to shoot at President Trump, apparently. You know, it's just, we just be doing crimes and people don't get caught anymore. You know, people.
This entire conversation is fraught with potholes that we could step into at any moment, but we'll try and get through it. But some of our co-hosts are chiming in with some aspects of this. First of all, you have to be able to have the conversation that the loss of life is tragic and unwarranted, certainly, and no one can condone that. And you put that over here on this side. You cannot, but you still have to be able to be mature enough to have the conversation that this person was basically spewing a lot of hatred for a lot of different people, violence. As you mentioned, a very strong proponent of the Second Amendment, which I am as well. But you know, the fact of the matter is that there needs to be some kind of control, and he seemed to be a proponent of just wanton gun ownership and gun usage. And we were talking about the fact that he's actually made the statement that a few gun deaths every year is acceptable, or was acceptable in his mind, in order for the Second Amendment to still exist. Mm-hmm. So, you know,
no, it's rather ironic, and I think that's why you know, there's so many things that concern me about this, as Get Black With Me said. One of them is the fact that he's being treated like they're flying his body on Air Force 2.
That means that we're paying for it.
You're right.
Unless somebody else is picking up the tab, that means the American taxpayers are paying to have his body shipped from Utah over to Phoenix. And I wonder if they're paying for the funeral.
There's so much that is concerning how he's being treated. And we lost other kids, or there was another shooting in Colorado.
Nobody even mentioned.
Nobody even mentioned it. It's being overshadowed by the fact Charlie Kirk, again, God bless his soul. He's a husband. Pray for his family, his children. They have to grow up with no father and no husband. But hey, to quote the words of I think a realist, people get shot every day, B.
Hello,
people get shot every day, B. Like
children.
Yeah,
children are being shot, and yet we got the flags flying half mast for this unapologetic racist person.
Is that what the flags are also flying half mast?
Well, the president ordered them to be flown half mast from yesterday through I think the 14th. And it was, under the guise of 9/11 commemoration, but also to commemorate the loss, unfortunately, of Charlie Kirk.
How the heck did President Trump find out about it so fast? How did the word that Charlie Kirk died get to President Trump, where he's the one that announced the death? It's just so many things. Again, it's a professional hit, 200 yards away. You got video of people seeing the shooter on the roof.
What's the top 5 reasons that he could have known that?
Ooh. Top 5 reasons that he could have known?
Top 5 ways he could have known what was going on. Yeah. We're gonna
top 5. I would say, again, now it's thrown off because we have a suspect. So I try not to go down the conspiracy rabbit hole, but I said, if we don't have a suspect and we have the most sophisticated military justice system, federal investigation system, we can't catch this guy, something's wrong here. And so I'm curious I know there's so many benefits. I honestly think that one of the main reasons, it could probably be top 1, forget top 5. And I could be totally wrong here. I'm willing to be. But I think that President Trump would love the Civil War, would love to see a war between, this country profits off of war. How much do you think they profit from their own war? So if they profit from the other side, I just think there's this shadow government that we're seeing that have motives and morals that we've never seen. They don't have any morals, and we don't even know what their motives are. So if I don't know if there's a civil war, could President Trump suspend elections of some sort? If I can get some type of real war going in this country, why else would you be immediately labeling the guy who killed Charlie Kirk a Democrat? Why would you make that a party issue before we even had a suspect?
Even in the story that we pulled up to highlight this, the MAGAs are calling the Democrats the party of murder. This administration, and by extension, the MAGA world, is like they are intent on crafting a narrative by saying stuff, and if you say it loudly enough and often enough, it catches hold. And they're trying to position this as some sort of I don't know, some sort of democratic ploy, or the fact that Democrats are speaking out is the reason why we have this political violence. Yet the president said 0. Now, for an elected official in Minnesota who was an actual elected official, was actually killed, assassinated. Now, that was a political killing, and we didn't hear the president say one word about it. He never even mentioned it, really. So now we have this unelected person who, obviously has helped the MAGA movement in some way, because they are worshiping him as if he was some sort of deity, and he wasn't even an elected official. And yet we're flying his body around. We're flying flags at half mast. And if you're listening to this and you're thinking that I'm trying to diminish at all the loss of this person, you are absolutely missing the point.
Yeah, I don't hear that.
You are absolutely missing the point. The point is that this man died. Sad, tragedy, unnecessary. We should never see it in our country. But yet, we are here. And why are we here? And there's all types of controversial stuff that's even going on. You know, we say we don't want to talk about conspiracies. You know, there's all sorts of talk about hand signals being given and things like that. So there's all types of stuff out there in this camera happy society that we live in. And then everybody's got a platform to kind of pontificate on. You know, we're hearing all types of stuff. And you know, you never know what's right and what isn't until I guess it all plays out. And
yeah, Anita said the right wing Fox News, every Republican wailing, yet the murder of Officer David Rose by a Trump supporter got 0 flags, no call from Pam Bondi, nor 47. Guess who else? And that's been. The narrative, of course, has been, listen, regardless of whether you agree with him, he has children, he has, a family. And she said, guess who else are growing up without their fathers? Officer David Rose, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, Dr. King's children, and every black father and black mother killed by a white cop. And that's just the reality. If you don't have the empathy, if you're not showing the same empathy, I think we collectively don't want to see anyone die. We would never have wished death on Charlie Kirk. But we've been shown to be people who you can say whatever you want to say about us, and we kind of just move on and just realize that's your ignorance. So it's not that we wish death upon you or wish life upon you. I think we probably wish life upon you more because I think, you hope anybody can wake up. Anybody can wake up, change. So you don't wish death on people because once you're dead, you have no choice in the matter anymore. It's done. You've made all your decisions for this life. But you see somebody who's young, and you hope and pray that as they get older, their views change. So I haven't seen people celebrating his death. Maybe 1 or 2 ignorant people, but the majority of the people are like, hey, it's sad. It shouldn't have come to this. And he brought a lot of that energy to himself. Same thing they say about rappers. If rappers die and rappers are rapping about, shooting and always having a gun on them and making sure the ops can't get them. And then all of a sudden, the ops got him. Hey, listen, we're not happy he went. We're not glorifying he went. But you just have to acknowledge the fact that this person put a lot out of his own mouth that brought that energy back to him. Yeah.
I think the late, great Malcolm X called it chickens coming home to roost. But
you've been seeing that clip going around too.
Yes, week. Of course. Caught a couple of reasons being put forth. One, to stop folks from talking about Epstein is a reason why this is getting so much coverage. Okay.
I don't think they can get that done. I don't think there's anything they can do to stop people from talking about the Epstein files. That thing just
distracted for a few
will
minutes.
Not go.
People were coming back to it for sure.
That's right. Will not go away.
He's a personal friend of 47. DC Old Fly chimes in.
DC Old Fly in the building. Yes.
He's a personal. I mean, clearly he must be
being flown
I heard he's
out.
Like a really personal friend of JD Vance, though the VP. So. There is so much to this, and I frankly don't know that the majority of the U.S. citizenry, I don't think has the depth to have the nuanced conversation that needs to be had around this. It's just people are either one side or the other. They're either, Fox News persons, and, all this is just the Democrats' fault and the leftists and all that. So anyway, tanking the economy, Get Black With Me chimes in as a reason. Perhaps indeed. Now, one piece I want to bring up to this, because I think this is what really should tie into This Week in Black America and what Black Americans should be concerned about. I don't know if this went unnoticed to you yesterday or not, but multiple historically Black colleges and universities, HBCU campuses, had to shut down yesterday because they were getting threats of violence on their campuses. So Hampton, Alabama State, Spelman and the Atlanta area colleges, I think, also were impacted by it. There were several different black colleges that had to actually shut down classes, shut down all their extracurricular activities because they were facing threats of violence.
Mm-hmm.
What does this have to do with Black America? Why are we even?
They're trying to reel us in.
Exactly. That's the point.
They're trying to reel us in.
This has nothing to do with us. That 22-year-old guy that shot Charlie Kirk was as white as snow.
Tyler Robinson.
He was not a melanated person. This happened in Utah. There aren't that many black folks in Utah. I've been there. It is a lily white state. It really is. So what does any of this have to do with us? The fact of the matter is, as my brother just said it, they're trying to pull Black America in so that they can justify the other stuff that they're trying to do. So,
That's the plan, in my opinion. We've been talking about this for months, and there's a collective sitting on the sideline right now from Black America, and I think we're just sitting on the sideline handling our business, and we're going about our day to day and doing what we need to do for ourselves, but we're out of the foolishness. And I know there's a couple black mayors, and I want to give credit to Wes Moore, because a couple weeks ago when I spoke about him, I didn't see everything that he was doing to really stay firm. But unless you're really fighting one of those mayor or governor battles and you're a black mayor or governor, all other black people are really on the side, because even on some of the stories we're going to talk about for the rest of the show, there's an attack on us. It's like they're trying to bait us out of this. They want us to come out into the streets. And that's why the event we were going to do for DC, when we planned it for October 18th. First we planned it. It was a weekday. And then once we picked an official day, it was Saturday, October 18th, to go down to DC for the Join the Call movement. And then next thing you know, and I said, God, I don't know if you want us to go down there. If you want us to go, then you'll make sure we go. And that's it. If you send us a message we're not supposed to go, then we're not going to go. So then a couple of days ago, I see that they have the No Kings rally on that same day.
Yes.
And we're not trying to be down in DC while there's a No King rally the same day.
Exactly.
So we don't want it to look like anything. We were going down to pray, and that was it. But there's no doubt in my mind, I think, that they want to see thousands of black people coming out, because it's something they can justify when they do damage to us that they can't do or they won't do to their white brothers and sisters that's out here tearing stuff up, evidenced by January 6th.
Listen, if they can get a bunch of black folks out in the street, then they can justify everything by just, look at them. They're doing what we told you they were going to do. And, and it's easier because people don't have a lot of empathy. Most people, well, I won't even say most people, but there are a lot of people in this country that have zero empathy for black people. And in fact, the irony keeps lining up. Charlie Kirk is on record as basically saying he doesn't believe in empathy at all. Didn't believe in empathy. He thought it was some sort of right-wing woke word or something, as I believe he was calling it. So
are you saying, get black with me, that Charlie Kirk could have been Manchurian? If you mean, I listen, I think it was a setup. Again, I just don't know of any. It's a 200-yard shot. That's 2 football fields.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's 600 feet. That's a lot.
That's a lot of ground to cover, and to hit somebody directly in the neck with a kill shot. The dude who did it. It could have been the guy who did it could have been Manchurian. Yeah, you never know. I don't put anything past what they're programming. We'll see. There's an investigation. There's a suspect, Tyler Robinson.
Is there really an investigation? I mean, they're already calling for the death penalty. They're already, I don't trust anything this government says. Nothing. Yeah. There's nothing that they can say that I'm going to believe on its face.
Yeah.
Because they have not shown themselves to be truthworthy at
I
all.
agree.
So
can you ever really know? No, that's it. Exactly what Curtis was just saying. Get black with me. No. Because me and my dad spoke yesterday, and I said it's a shame that we can't even. We're at the point we. It's always been like, all right, we can't trust our government to with everything, but now I mean it's got to be near an all-time low, if not an all-time low, of trust in our government right now. So even if you catch the person, okay, do we know if you caught him? Was he really the suspect? Are you planning this? We have no idea. Is this guy going to end up? So again, I'm glad he's alive, because it's like the Donald Trump quote unquote assassination attempt. Suspect's dead. We can't get any information out of him. Who sent you? Who paid you? Why'd you do this? So we have an alive suspect. We should get information onto who sent this guy. But again, if we're not supposed to get that information, then we won't be getting that information.
Listen, they're going to give us exactly what they want us to have. Now, of course, if you do some digging, you might be able to find some additional information. But, I'm always going to be cautious about what the administration says. So if you have any idea about going out and protesting, take a step back, log on to your phone, download Top 5 game, and just find your friends or neighbors or family members, and you guys play a game of Top 5 and have a conversation around something other than the foolishness that's going on in this world. This is the Top 5 edition of This Week in Black America.
Yes.
Here at the top of the show, my brother Deshaun has given birth to a new game called
Pushed it out.
5. Pushed it. Amen. Listen.
A lot of breathing.
Pushed it out from his mind. That's it.
Yes.
Top 5 game.
Top 5. You can download it. It's called the Conversation Game. You already have played it. Every time you're debating or discussing your top 5, sitcoms from your childhood, your top 5 comedians of all times. There's over 130 categories already preloaded. So you just let the game pick the category, and you can play with your friends. You can play solo. And what I find it is just a way for you to continually there's no winners or losers. So it's really your opinion. You're standing on your opinion. When you get the top 5 pizza toppings, you might be an anchovy person. You know the whole room is going to kill you on anchovies. Nobody's eating fish on pizza except you. And you got to defend that. You got to, hey, listen, y'all haven't tried it. Have you ever tried it? Have you tried it? No. We're not going to try it. See, that's your problem. You talking about stuff you never tried. You criticizing stuff. That's how Top 5 takes place. So download it. It's in the App Store. It's in the Google Play Store. Use your unique referral code. And if you refer 25 people, we have 1% of the company that we're going to profit share with you starting year 6. So it's just like you're investing, but with no money. So the investing is to grow Top 5, and we have already put into our Founders Club agreement that year 6 we're going to start paying 1% of the profits, and we of our gross profit, and we believe that it has 1 billion player potential. We haven't done Top 5 date edition. We haven't done Top 5 a night at the movies. We haven't done the ESPN or Stephen A. Smith Top 5 sports fanatic edition. So there's a lot of stuff that's coming, but the game in itself now is ready for you to play with your friends, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. You're going to find something in common when you go through all of these categories. You might get to your top 5 comedians and y'all both like, Eddie Murphy, and then next thing you know, y'all watching Eddie Murphy movies tonight. So have fun. Join top5.com.
Here's a disclaimer. The producers and creators of the show accept no responsibility for fights that may break out in your home because of playing this game. Okay? So y'all know.
It could get heated. I think the LeBron Jordan What you mean Kobe ain't in your top 5? You don't know nothing about no basketball. You shouldn't be.
Somebody's gonna be fighting at Thanksgiving dinner.
Top 5 Thanksgiving foods is actually a category.
Oh my goodness.
Top 5 Thanksgiving foods.
Folks, you can see the way this could happen, right? Top 5 foods at Thanksgiving, top 5 candy bars. We played that. Top 5 sitcoms. And some of y'all might take this stuff very seriously. and if there's any breakouts, we take no responsibility for any fights that may happen in your home over holiday dinners.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell y'all something that's really that this is gonna happen, because that's the way we're praying and we're setting it up to happen. When top 5 is a multi-billion-dollar game, the people who are in the Founders Club will get a check every year from it. So when we're talking about ownership here. Normally we'd be talking about you investing in the company to get ownership. None of these companies ever cut us in for ownership. So when you are looking at a game where if you play the game, when you play top 5, the next question to ask yourself is, wow, is this game good? Can I see other people playing it? And if I can see other people playing it, then I need to own a piece of this. And I'm going to go and tell my friends, because it'd be a shame for top 5 to be doing, billions of dollars, and we're cutting back, $100 million. We're cutting back $30 million a year, whatever we're sending back in that 1% Founders Club, and you're not getting any of it because, you didn't realize the magnitude of this. So more than anything, we believe in ownership. And so that's why we're giving the opportunity for those who help us grow to own a piece of top 5 forever. And that's going to be a very, very, it's going to make you more than your little Facebook stock is making you.
Amen. So let's move into a little bit lighter subject. This came to me and from a story in Texas about a family. Brother D, can you just give us the highlights of this? I find it fascinating. I found it fascinating. Can you?
Well, some of us are gene specific child creators. We create all girls. We create all boys. Me too. I'm an all girls. My cousin Curtis is all girls. My cousin, he just had his 3rd girl, and then I have one cousin who does all boys, 4 boys. So. But I know a lot of friends with boys, and apparently there's a couple in Texas that has broken a 108-year streak of having only boys with the expected birth of a baby girl. Michael Sherman Jr., a local firefighter, this is from the Black Information Network, and his wife, Joaquin, I probably butchered her name, forgive me, announced the news at a family gathering, calling it amazing to finally welcome a daughter into the Sherman line. Man, these guys got to be like the Saudi princes. It got to be like,
yeah, right.
It's got to be like 800 of them by now. If they haven't all boys, that means you're gonna have a lot of babies, a lot of grandkids, a lot of nieces, nephews. It says the last girl.
Does this mean that all the boys were having boys too? I guess, right?
It says the Texas 108-year streak of only boys from this lineage, and Michael Sherman. Everybody who's come before them apparently has been a boy. The last girl born into the family was in 1917. Aura Bell Sherman, remembered as a civil rights trailblazer in Atlanta. The new baby, due in March, will join her 5-year-old brother, Makai, and is already being celebrated as history making. Wow.
Imagine that. Like, you got to, so in my family, it's it's kind of backwards. My sister has 2 boys, but the 2 boys in the family all have girls. So my brother has 4 girls. I have 2, it's just like, a lot of girls in the family. This to me is fascinating because imagine all your cousins are boys, right? Mm-hmm. So you got a big family. You go to a family reunion. It's a big, wrestling match out and back or something. There's a lot of testosterone going on in that family.
Everywhere.
Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine that.
Are you bringing in the groceries or what? Everything's a testosterone battle.
Listen, everything's a fight. Shout out to whoever the mothers are in this,
right.
in this family, because they have their hands completely full with all boys. First of all boys, and then everybody else in the house is boys. Then every time you go to a family get together, everybody's boy. You know, I bet the women, the wives, probably huddle in the kitchen and just pray or something. You know,
that got to just congregate together. Just congregate together. We're not getting a princess, but they do. They have a little aura. Oh no, that was the grandmother. The new baby doesn't have a name yet.
No, not yet.
Okay, yeah. So, okay, she's expected in March. We pray that all goes well with the pregnancy, and that the family can welcome their first. The Sherman family can welcome their first daughter in 108 years. Congratulations.
So that's back to 1970. How many black families even have records that go back that far? That's fascinating in and of itself.
This ain't no normal family.
Yeah, I would agree. They must be extraordinary, but most black families are extraordinary.
Yeah, that's true. But no, they definitely ain't normal. They're producing they're producing soldiers or something, or at least music groups.
Now, one thing that we may be missing is how many of those boys are now. I hope all those young men that have been birthed into that family are upright young men who are adding to the society rather than
don't be out here birthing terrors at large.
Knuckleheads out here either.
Right. Got a third of the city jail population is just the Shermans. Oh, here come another Sherman.
Definitely.
There go another Sherman birth.
We may have to dig into that a little bit further just to find out. But
it would be, yeah. Get Black With Me said it'd be funny if they had twin girls. That
would be funny.
That would.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, she's gonna be the princess. Nobody gonna mess with this girl coming. She's gonna have 80 uncles.
Goodness.
Yo, I'm gonna get my uncles.
I know. And it's like 400 of them.
Right.
Anyway.
All right.
Shout out to the president of George Mason University, Gregory in Washington. Now, we all know that this administration has been hard on college campuses, trying to get them to eliminate DEI, eliminate teaching anything that kind of highlights the truth about what's going on in our country.
Yes.
And George Mason University, can you tell us a little about that? That we've got a Black Information Network article about them as well.
Yeah. This one is this is Black Information Network via the New York Times. George Mason University President George N. Washington has refused Trump administration demands to apologize for his DEI initiatives. Washington, the school's first Black president, let's make sure we are aware of that, said the accusations of unlawful DEI practices are gross mischaracterizations and compared them to changing the speed limit and charging you for speeding 4 years ago. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Wow. Supporters note that GMU's, which is George Mason University's faculty demographics haven't significantly shifted since 2015, while critics in Trump's Department of Education argue Washington discriminated against white candidates. Now, mind you, this is the Department of Education of which, as Get Black With Me always says, the leader who runs it has been repeatedly body slammed on television publicly. So let's just add to the characters involved in this.
Potentially having some brain damage done.
Yeah, right. Go look at the husband. Vince McMahon don't look too healthy. You can't get pile drived for years, and then you wake up and you run the Department of Education. So it says the investigation is seen as a high stakes test for the future of DEI programs. Shout out to Gregory Washington standing firm.
Amen.
What do you think about that? What do you think about the attacks? And of course, it's no surprise he's the first black president who has to now roll up his sleeves and, go to war essentially with the administration.
Black folks to the rescue once again.
All right.
Super Negro flies in to save the country.
Take a stand. That's the slogan. Take a stand.
Listen,
and remember, kids,
country for centuries now. The reason this country stands today is because of black folks, and somebody's got to tell that truth.
Facts.
So, I think I'll volunteer to be the first one to say it if indeed that is the case.
Facts. So, but do we think, Curtis, that all of this gentleman, we have to talk about the young lady in the Fed who Trump is trying to fire. Look at all of these black people. Look at the black mayors. Look at the black governors. Again, 15 minutes ago, we talked about their goal is to get us to come out. Mm-hmm. Their goal is to get us out in the streets, protesting, rioting, looting. God, hopefully they don't start
walking.
Come on,
shopping.
There you go. We not outside.
No matter what we're doing.
2024. The saying was, "We outside."
Yeah.
Nope, not 2025. We inside. Like you said,
it's COVID that brought us in before. Now it's going to have to be racism.
That's right.
It's a little racist out there today.
It's as deadly as COVID. It certainly is.
That's right. My race barometer. No. It's just it's. We kind of feel there's nothing for us out here. There's nothing for us. There's no reason to be outside. Yeah. So but yeah, I see a continued attack on, if we can't get the people to come out, let's attack the people that are in position already, be it, prosecutor in New York, be it, the black people, as I just mentioned, working in the Fed, this gentleman. Let's just attack the black people in these certain positions and see if we can stir up black people. Because clearly a lot of these things are just we're just picking and choosing. We don't want this black person working here anymore. It's not based on any merit.
No. Although that's the narrative that they would have you believe,
that they push.
That they're pushing, that these should all be merit based, but yet Exhibit A is the mediocrity of this administration's cabinet. Frankly,
everyone.
I mean, is this what meritorious choosing looks like? You got Pete Hegseth. I mean, come on.
And before the end of the show, Curtis. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish up.
No, before the end of the show, I want to get with the audience, and I want to get some opinions. We haven't talked about Marjorie Taylor Greene. So we'll talk about that later. But she hasn't been a topic, but she has been a topic because she's been.
Yeah, she's an interesting person.
She's going really off the MAGA popularity, because that Israel subject is really dividing a lot of MAGA. That defending Israel, there's a couple of American people that are not playing that, and so anyway, we'll start. And there's a connection there. There's a connection there. Epstein's Jewish. A lot of the people who are at his island are Jewish. A lot of the people who run, these circles where these kids were, Hollywood, entertainment, Jewish. So, there's this tight circle that all of these common players are all of a sudden, we're figuring out y'all were all around each other, and y'all all like to do this weirdo stuff. Again, the Zionists are different from the Jewish. We can't determine whether you're a Jewish person or you're a Zionist. The Zionist, you want to take over the world, and your Messiah is going to come and kill everybody for you in a couple years, and you're just evil. You're just totally evil. And versus a Jewish person, you just converted to the religion of Judaism. Two totally different things. One is a monster, and one is just a religious person. And these Zionists right now, or being, like you said, being found out. Wait, you were with Epstein too? And it's again, that's the story that's not going to go away. I don't care how much they try to distract. That Epstein story is not going away until we get.
And I'm looking forward to the women that were just recently at Capitol Hill protesting the whole Epstein thing. They threatened to release their own Epstein file,
their own list.
We're gonna get together, compare notes, and we gonna come out with our own Epstein file, baby. We know who's there.
Let's go.
Yeah. So
juiciest topic of the year.
Yeah, I just wish them all safety because
yes,
listen, you start talking reckless like that, somebody might, if we start reading about these ladies disappearing, or finding some other problems coming up, we might know what's going on. But let's move on because I want to get talking. This is not even an American story, but I found it interesting because it does deal with Black folks in general. This is about a hair issue. Now we know we have our problems with the majority folks here in America sometimes wanting to touch our hair. Well, not mine.
Not mine either.
Because
that was the beard.
Nah, don't. Nah,
yeah, you ain't touching the beard.
Too close to my face, then.
That's right.
Not a problem. So, but they like to touch our hair. They're fascinated by our hair. The fact that we can do designs with it and things like that. But there's a story that comes from Jamaica, man.
I think that accent would have offended several Jamaicans.
Listen, I'm terrible at all types of accents, not just Jamaican. That's just so clearly I wasn't trying to make a real representation.
No doubt.
But Wagwan with this story.
That was good.
So in St. Andrews High School for Girls, one of Jamaica's most prestigious all-girls secondary institutions, founded in 1925, has officially banned the wearing of styled edges. You ladies may know that as the baby hair.
Baby hair.
Yeah, even though you ain't been a baby for years, you still apparently holding on to the baby hair.
Lay down them edges. Yep.
So baby hairs on
little
campus.
Gel, lay them edges, lay them baby hairs down.
So they made this ruling stating that the curtains belong in the house, not on foreheads. Okay. And urging students to keep their looks neat and school ready in line with the school's legacy of academic rigor and discipline. This policy sparked a wave of social media responses. Some users questioned how the edges detract from neatness, but others defended the rule as a typical of strict Caribbean school dress codes and consistent with SAHS's emphasis on academics over fashion. The controversy underscores a deeper debate about cultural expression. Thoughts on this? I mean, this is an interesting conversation to me because this is us policing ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, whether you agree with the policy or not is maybe a different conversation. But this school is basically saying, I love this. The curtains belong in the inside of the house, not on your foreheads. They're trying to get focused. I guess they're young people to focus on what's inside more than what you're presenting outside, and focusing on learning and that sort of thing, as opposed to how your edges look. Now, this certainly would not fly in America because you go between the edges and those caterpillar eyelashes that the young ladies are wearing these days. Which,
oh no, we're gonna be fly.
Listen, that is not fly. That is not fly. Those eyelashes, not fly. I'm sorry. I'm just going. Ladies, if you disagree with me, I'm here.
Some people listen.
I don't like that whole thing. But that's
some people want to go out. Look.
Because
That's
to me it's scary. It looks like it's a worm flying or crawling on somebody. You know, a little caterpillar flying, crawling on somebody's
I think at some degree they're too big, but these are two. Get Black With Me said that it's very class conscious in Jamaica, and
Yes.
from what I know, that is true. But also, you know, Black American culture, we have to. I don't know if I want it. Let me split it like this. We have to control what siphons through if we can, because some Black American culture don't need to go. Just like we say everybody can't come, everything can't come. You know, the you know, the walking around in the pajamas with the slippers, and you in the neighborhood, you going to the corner store with the pajamas and the slippers and the bonnet on.
Yeah, the barna,
yeah, come on, like, you know, like, everything can't come, you know. And I think, you know, when we look at school in Jamaica, I could definitely see. I mean, baby hair was always, if your baby hair was tight, though, you was usually neat. I don't know many people who come to school, their hairdo is all rocked and they sloppy outfit, terrible, and the baby hair is laid. I don't know anybody like that. Normally, the baby hair ladies, ain't that the last thing you do? Like, true. All right, outfit is good, the accessories on, let me lay down my baby hair. Usually,
let me lay down these. Yeah, let me lay this down.
Lay those edges
I'm gonna
down.
Leave these BDBs in the back. They gonna just be there. That's
Swoop them up with gel. Amazing what we do with gel. But isn't that the last thing? So, you know, maybe they just don't want to see that you know, that Black American culture that's, come on, y'all. Listen, let's focus on our education. So
Get Black With Me makes a great point. That Black people basically saying that we lead the culture, and that's certainly the truth here in America. But everything Black people do is not consider an element of culture. It is not consider an element. Oh well, maybe not, but we know that that's not true, because everything, the major export of America is our culture, Black culture.
That's
frankly.
a good point. Just watching us.
Yep.
You know, just watching us and how we move and what we talk like. It's amazing how many people talk like us now. That they would have always criticized us. And yo, you speak Ebonics. You know, y'all speak Ebonics. Now, you know, like, it's lit, it's up, it's you know, keep it a buck. Like, all of these phrases that we created out of our normal culture that now white people just like run with. They ain't even trying to act like they're not trying to, you know.
Unapologetically culture vultures.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
so whatever, I think they're just trying to be cool. To be fair, I don't know that they see it as appropriating our culture. They just want to be cool. They trying to be down with us, and they think that that's the way to do it. And I guess maybe imitation is the greatest form of flattery, as someone once said. But anyway, let's go on. We got a lot of stories still to get to on this top 5 edition of This Week in Black America. And this story, unfortunately, is going to go under the demon season category. And shout out to our co-host that came up with the demon season moniker. Never have I seen a more accurate description of what is going on than that. But there's an article that comes to us out of North Carolina. Did you want to give us the highlights on this?
Yeah, absolutely. Black Information Network via The Independent. 25-year-old North Carolina man has been arrested for allegedly threatening to carry out a racially motivated mass shooting at a Black preschool. Federal authorities say Zachary Charles Newell posted a YouTube comment vowing to shoot up a Black preschool and skin 20 Black babies, prompting Google's cybercrime team to alert the FBI. Investigators traced the threats back to Newell through his email and IP address, and he later admitted to posting the comments. He now faces federal charges and up to 5 years in prison if convicted. Are we okay bringing this guy out in 5 years?
Listen, hopefully the brothers inside the penitentiary we'll have a conversation with the young man and see if they can't straighten him out.
If that's your aspirations, I don't think it stops with a 5-year prison sentence.
No. But hopefully, like I said, if those conversations are effective, then maybe he will have a change of heart and mind, and who knows what else. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this demon, but it highlights the fact that he's talking about shooting up a preschool. Right? So what did those babies do to anybody? Right? So that's the first question you want to ask you. Why a preschool? And clearly they're trying to destroy our black babies any way they can. So,
well, does he think if he shot up a place where adults work, he might get caught, might actually get caught by a couple brothers, beat down? Well, it probably is the kids, because even at the schools, we got incredible teachers that will go to war.
Listen, if you try and walk in there, I guarantee you, if this is a black preschool, you walk into there and you are presenting some sort of danger to those babies, one of the black women is going to stand up and may end up losing their life but they are not going to let you come in there if they can help it at all. Yeah, they are not going to allow you to injure those children. So
no, it's not going to end well.
Shout out to black women are fierce protectors of their children. Maybe even sometimes to the detriment. That's a whole nother conversation. But we will protect our children, and we have to in this season, in this demon season. I don't know that we need to even go much deeper on that, because those kind of things bother me.
No, that's enough.
But
come back.
So anyway, ICE. We know the president has been doing all.
This is a problem right here. This one is a problem. We've been hearing about this pretty much for the last week and a half, and it's a problem.
Give us the highlights.
To Chicago, ICE is going into Chicago, and since the DC takeover, the federal takeover, we don't like anything concerning. The sad part is, you have residents in Chicago calling for more presidential power. Come on in, fix our cities. These are people who haven't gone to one city council meeting, but they want the president to come in and fix the city. They don't even understand what they're asking for. So this is via Black Information Network, via the New York Times. The Trump administration has launched Operation Midway Blitz, an immigration enforcement campaign in Chicago. ICE officials say the operation is targeting undocumented immigrants with criminal records, but local leaders argue community leaders like a street vendor and a man waiting for a bus have already been swept up. City Council member J. Lou Gutierrez warned that everybody is a target as many residents stay home out of fear. Now, I'm not so much concerned with the immigration. That's just happening unlawfully, I think, everywhere.
Right.
But I'm more concerned, Curtis, with the mindset of some of the people who are asking for the government to come, because President Trump said Chicago's on his list of sending the National Guard to. Right. He talked about how it's a war zone. He talked about how our kids are growing up. They were born to be criminals.
Yeah. Oh, that was crazy work. Him saying that. But I'm just curious, because the violence that's going on in Utah. What? No National Guard to protect the citizens of Utah? I mean, the high-profile murder of a person just happened there. Why are we sending the National Guard to Utah?
We need it. Utah needs the National Guard. Utah needs it's no way a person can't even stand up, put their political opinion out before an educated crowd without danger of being killed in 2025. Why don't we have National Guard on their way to Utah?
Listen, Salt Lake City should be surrounded right now by National Guard's people.
Yeah, I don't like to see anything concerning any of these democratic cities concerning ICE and concerning the federal government, because again, the ignorance of some of our people who are calling for them to come. Yes, Trump, come on in, clean these cities up, get these mayors out of here. Again, how many mayors have you voted for? What have you really done for your city, where at this point you're calling for the federal government to come get involved? You don't even, again, he didn't even, people don't even understand how their own country works and how states work and how state power works and city power works. And they're just like, oh yeah, the president, these are the same people who think the president can fix anything. That's why it's like they've been mad at every president.
Yeah.
Oh, Obama ain't do nothing for us. Oh, this, Bush, such and such. It don't matter. But at the end of the day, giving a guy like President Trump any type of support that you want him in your city, it's just ignorance, man. It's ignorance. So not really much to do with this, because this is more of a nice thing in Chicago.
Right.
We
talked about the ICE budget earlier today. And the fact is, I mean, Get Black With Me just makes a point here, is that, Hitler, this is out of the authoritarian playbook, right? Create an atmosphere where you're terrorizing your own people, and then basically in an effort to get them to beg you to come in and protect us, right? But they're protecting us from you. This is something you caused. So anyway,
good point.
Get Black.
That's exactly what we see happening.
Yep. Exactly.
It's exactly what we see happening. Things that the government caused, that, again, they left a lot of holes in the country. There's been a lot of holes, a lot of things that could have been done better. These improvements of the murder rate, the homicide rate should have been coming down years ago. You don't have 500 murders in Chicago, and then, yes, thank God, shootings are down 40%. I think deaths are down something like 20 some odd percent or 30%. So it's great. But again, the reason why this guy can come in and he can do anything he wants is because there was a mess everywhere. So unlawfully, he gets to come in and, just, all right, listen, this is a big problem. This is a big problem. And then you don't have anybody who really understands on his base that is willing to research. It just, that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with several million people that take everything he says as face value, and they're not even watching any other news. So if they hear Chicago's a mess, first of all, I go to a diner up here with my dad, and I swear to y'all, News 12, New Jersey, if every 12 minutes they don't show a black mugshot, I feel like somebody on the production team is yelling at somebody, hey, it's been 12 minutes. Throw another one up. Little Khalif, throw Khalif up. Put Khalif up. All right. That's like, wait, this is statewide news? Out of everything that happened in New Jersey, Khalif getting caught with a couple bags of marijuana? So this is what a lot of these people, they see. They don't see black friends or black people in their neighborhood. They only see us. That's why there's probably a fascination with our hair and how we look, because they don't see us. And so when they see us, it's on a mugshot. It's probably on the news, and they're like being told that these guys are just criminals. They can't build anything. They destroy, they kill each other. So when you frame these narratives of New York, Detroit, Chicago, if you without some serious people like selling another narrative, man, they believe this stuff. MAGA believes everything Trump says, not even halfway.
Yep. So as Get Black With Me accurately says, they were called brown shirts. I don't know. Maybe history will call these today's ICE agents. Maybe they'll have another snappy name to come up with to describe what we are experiencing in this particular demon season.
Masked Masked cowards.
Exactly. And, we're on this top 5 edition of This Week in Black America. We've got a few more stories to get to, so we're going to get through them kind of quickly. But top 5 is out. If you haven't gone to your iOS or to your Google Play Store, you can download Top 5. Is a conversation game that will certainly spark interesting debates within your home. And it's a learning possibilities, learning to understand what other people are putting forth. Also, it hones your discussion skills because you're gonna have to debate and protect your point of view. So Top 5 is, I mean, it's an outstanding game. I played it a few times myself. And listen, you can do this writing stuff down, but the app makes it so much easier. You can keep score, you can skip games, different things like that. But I encourage you to download the Top 5 game. And of course, there is an element of ownership that is included when you give your referral codes out. 25 people act upon your referral code, then that gives you ownership stake of 1%. And believe that in year 6, you would start to see that. So it's a new model that we've been talking about for quite a while. And I'm just so, I'd say tickled pink, but that doesn't exactly apply to us. But I'm really glad to see the perseverance of my brother in giving birth to this idea that I think has a lot of legs, and we want to see all of our folks get behind it as well. So
definitely,
yeah, top 5 edition of This Week in Black America.
And again, you already played it. All we
absolutely.
did was formalize it. Every time we have a debate, every time we have a discussion about our favorite movies, our favorite comedians, our childhood breakfast cereals, our favorite, ice cream flavors, it's all in there. So you'll see that it just makes having conversations with you, play with your wife, your boyfriend, your husband, if you're going out on a date, just say, hey, listen, I know this guy, they launched this game. Listen, download it, let's play. Within 25 minutes, you're gonna know, hey, top 5 romance movies. Nah, I ain't into that. Okay, that's fine. What about top 5 gangster movies? Okay, oh yeah, Godfather. Oh, I like Godfather. Next thing you know, y'all watching Godfather, the second date. So it's just a better versus this. So what kind of foods do you like? What are your hobbies?
Conversation starter.
Who the heck is
this
asking
to be helpful
this
for those of you for those of you that have no game to spit? You actually now have a game to start the conversation.
There you
See
go.
What I did there?
There you go. Absolutely. This is all the game you need. All the game you need, brother.
All the game you need. Listen, top 5.
She said, "What kind of? Listen, what's your? So, what kind of game you got? Oh, I got some game. I got a game. Listen, you pull out top 5.
If you bring up your lady's top 5 designers that she likes, and she can name 30 of them, you're in trouble. You might want that might want to be your exit strategy now.
No, listen, that's a good point. That's a good point. Top 5 fashion designers is in there. They start running down. Listen, Birkin, Gucci, Chanel, Louis Vuitton.
It's when they start naming those lower names. Everybody's gonna be able to name Gucci,
right.
Chanel, those sort of things.
I'm out on a date.
Once you start getting down to the lower level designers, then wait.
I want to be out on a date, and my woman. If I took my woman out before I was married to her, I want to hear. Oh man, I ain't into this shoe. I ain't got no designers. I guess DKNY. Okay, yeah, they do that. We can do that. We can do DK. What are they shirts? They shirts like $30 now, right?
Listen.
Well, if I'm on a date and we go top 5 restaurants, and you start pulling out Fleming's.
Yeah. Listen.
Ruth's Chris. Okay. Now listen.
There you go.
You know you're dealing with. So again, this is going to be the second date creator or the second date eliminator. It's either way, the mission has been accomplished with Top 5. So go to join.com, jointop5.com, jointop5.com, and download. It's on Android, it's on iOS. Have fun. We pray that you have a lot of fun playing the game and create a lot of great discussions and memories.
So I want to get into a couple quick things, and this is just more for more information, because it happens way too much in America. If you're not aware of it, a black person was convicted of a crime, and was incarcerated. This was for a crime back in 1998, and a black man, Brian Hooper Sr., a black father, was exonerated and released after 27 years in prison for the 1998 murder of a 77-year-old Anna Prasniak, convicted largely based on the coerced testimony of 4 witnesses and a key witness, Shalaka Shea Young, who later admitted that she alone committed the crime and had lied under pressure. So in July 2025, while serving time for unrelated charges in Georgia, Young confessed in writing that she couldn't tolerate an innocent man sitting in prison, prompting the reopening of Hooper's case and leading to the judge vacating his conviction on September 3rd. The very next day, he was officially released, and Hennepin County attorney Mary Moriarty issued an apology for the injustice, and a GoFundMe campaign has been launched to support Hooper's reintegration and decades of wrongful imprisonment. Unfortunately, this is far too common a story for us.
Crazy.
27 years.
And we know, imagine, Curtis, how many people lied. What's that?
The person who actually did it lied on somebody else.
Yep.
And sent them to prison for 27 years. And now we want to open a GoFundMe for him. Listen,
that's the best we got.
State of Georgia should be on the hook.
No doubt. I mean,
for some money. I know some of y'all live in Georgia, and it might increase your taxes. But maybe if y'all put some pressure on these public officials to make better decisions about putting people in jail,
27 years.
27. Wow.
And this is the stuff right here. Like you said, it happens too often. We can't get the time back. All you can say is, oh, I know he got a lawsuit, but he also got almost 3 decades of his life, gone. And I'm sure, he's kept his head up in prison or whatever. But, again, it's you want to change the cause so that we can we stop seeing these. What are we going to be 3, 4 years, 5 years from now, 10 years? Oh, wrongful conviction. I mean, we really need. Imagine how many people are in prison right now. If 1 or 2 of them or 3 of them a year get out because they were wrongfully convicted, imagine how many don't get out, Curtis?
I think it's over 50% of people that get sent to prisons are that may be only for like serious crimes like murder or what have you, but over 50% are exonerated. Black people make up over 50% of the exonerees. That means that they send a lot of black folks to prison. They don't necessarily always put a lot of effort into proving that they did it. It's just being black is apparently enough to convict you in a lot of cases. So, and then when they're exonerated, sorry, we didn't.
Our bad.
Nope. Oops.
Our bad. Yeah. No, listen, go
Stealing
get your money.
Lives. Yeah.
Go get your money, and that's kind of. I think that's the only good thing that could come out of it is I'm suing the heck out of y'all, right? I mean, what else is there?
And a lot of states have provisions where you can't sue them. So,
that would be crazy. Would be crazy. Y'all not gonna put me in prison wrongfully for almost 3 decades, and I can't sue, and I'm not getting no way. I'm raising all types of.
That's why they got to GoFundMe going. But anyway, I want to get to just really quickly mention, because we kind of talked around it several times today, and there's not much action on the removal of Fed Governor Lisa Cook. A federal judge did chime in this week, blocking President Trump's attempt to remove Fed Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. You may recall, first and only Black woman on the Fed board in its 112-year history. She was just confirmed, I think it was 2 years ago, but by a very close vote. But this administration is trying to get rid of her now. So I believe the last thing I read was that Trump is now kind of asking for an expedited review from the Supreme Court because he lost this piece, right? The federal judge said that he couldn't do it. So now he's looking to the Supreme Court. He probably called up Clarence Thomas and said, hey, boy, get this right. And Clarence probably said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll do it immediately, boss.
That's good dance. Yep.
I'm sorry.
Listen, we already know. Listen, Clarence Thomas is all the way. Clarence Uncle Thomas.
Clarence Uncle.
The first Black woman to serve as Fed governor will now participate in the central bank's September 16th meeting where interest rate cuts are expected. There's been a lot with the Fed. For those of you who've been following the show and following what's been happening, Trump obviously is not happy with the Fed. He wants rates lowered. And, he's kind of taking a shot at anybody. Jerome Powell, he cannot stand, even though he appointed him. Even though he appointed him, he has criticized the people who hired him, and basically by saying, well, Biden shouldn't have kept him, even though Biden kept him after Trump's appointment. But now taking shots at Lisa Cook, the governor, again, first Black woman, all behind the fact, in my opinion, Curtis, the economy is terrible. It's slow. The jobs report, again, came out for August rather. It was also very, very low, way under projections. So, you're looking for someone to blame. You fired the person from the Department of Labor and Statistics that reported on the actual, what was that, back in July? I think he fired the person who reported on the July jobs. Yeah. So Trump just kind of has this thing where, he has it out for the Fed and now, and that's it's been on his list. And you cannot artificially stimulate an economy, ladies and gentlemen.
That works for the last 15 years. It's worked.
Right, but your middle class is beaten and bruised and gutted. And when it started, we still had a bit of a middle class. Houses were still somewhat affordable. Everything is up. Groceries are up. Insurance is up. Electricity is up. Gas is up. Living in the United States is up. And meanwhile, pay and jobs are not. Yeah. So you want to have the Fed lower rates so that there's more credit available, consumers start spending more, but you have not made the country affordable. And Jerome Powell continues to say, I don't want, if we lower the rates, inflation comes, people buy, more inflation comes, we're printing more money. It's not the solution we need as a country right now to your slow economy, President Trump. It's not the solution, is not to lower rates. It's going to hurt the American people, because if we lower rates, it's going to drive prices up even more, because the people who can afford to buy are going to go out to buy, and it's going to drive pricing up more. So that's not what America needs right now. And Trump and the Fed just cannot see eye to eye. So I know they're talking about rates being lowered, but Jerome Powell has been fundamentally against lowering the rates. So we'll see what happens, Curtis. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I mean, that's it. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. Jerome Powell has been holding the line, and I appreciate that because he's an independent person. He's supposed to look out for the American people, all of them, not just the 1%. So, I mean, we'll wait to see how that plays out. But you are absolutely right that, this is an effort that Trump and his cronies have been after for a while. They want to try and control the money and the interest rates and everything else so that they can take advantage of it. Believe me, none of this has any bearing on on making your life better. Mm-hmm. It's all about the rich getting richer.
That's right.
So there's that. Now, I wanted to just, we've got this special edition, the top 5 edition of This Week in Black America. And I've got one more topic that we definitely need to discuss, because you all know that we have been, we on this show have been tremendous advocates of what Ibrahim Traore has been doing over in Burkina Faso. We've applauded the work that he's done to basically free Burkina Faso from the shackles of Western control. And we've made no apologies or secret about our support for him, mm-hmm. and our desire for his life to be protected, because we know the history of African leaders who kind of push this sort of progressive agenda have a bad habit of ending up dead. Yeah, mm-hmm. Usually from an assassin or of some sort. Yeah. So anyway, that's just by way of background. Now, this is going to require an adult conversation and a nuanced conversation that we here in America, we don't often have these kind of conversations. But Brother Deshaun, can you give us the summary of what's happened in Burkina Faso this week?
Okay, well, this one was from this one was from an Instagram video where the young lady was saying that the headline showed that it made it look like Ibrahim Traore, Captain Traore, was the one who basically spearheaded the homosexuality being outlawed in Burkina Faso. Right. But it's actually not the case. And Meraki has the video. We'll play a little bit of this clip from this young lady breaking down how this was already in place before he ever took control of the country. So let's play a little bit of that.
That homosexuality is outlawed in that country. But lo and behold, Ibrahim's face is splashed all over it. So because you bumberholes don't read, let me read for you. It says here that Burkina Faso's unelected transitional parliament has passed a bill banning homosexual acts a little over a year after a draft of an amended family code that criminalized homosexuality was adopted by the country's cabinet. Country's cabinet, not Ibrahim Traore. It was passed in parliament. But it's funny how his face is splashed all over there just because he's the leader. And what you bumberholes need to understand is this country has independence and autonomy with a parliament, which means the MPs in that parliament can vote on what the hell they like because their constituents believe in it. It even says the new measure unanimously voted through on Monday imposes punishments of up to 5 years in jail. It was a unanimous vote. And I'm pretty sure
Meraki,
Ibrahim Traore did not vote because he's not in parliament.
So Curtis, we know the optics.
Right.
Optics are, let's put Captain Traore picture, headline,
right,
homosexuality banned. There's something there to try to get. You think the goal was to try to get less black people to like him, or what do you think the goal of this was, and why it was necessary that this young lady correct and let everybody know that this was a decision for the entire parliament
71 members of parliament, and it's a transitional parliament, to be clear, that was put in place after the Traore regime came to power. But to the young lady's point, 71 members of the parliament all voted in unison for this. Now, there's a couple nuances to this, and the point that, if you continue to listen to the young lady, that she makes is that, okay, we can have the conversation that Burkina Faso has outlawed homosexuality, but let's keep it in context. We always talk about context. Burkina Faso is also a Muslim country.
Right.
So for a Muslim country, this is actually quite in alignment. And I know many of us have gone to places like Dubai or other places in the UAE where homosexuality is also illegal, but it never stopped us from going to hang out on the boats out in Dubai.
That's
or,
right.
Going shopping out there, or taking pictures out in the sand with the nice robes on, or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to be clear about this. This is not a conversation one way or another about right or wrong, because for one, we're not there, right? We don't live there. So I don't know that we can have any real pertinent input as to what another country does, the way they operate things. Now we can apply our sensibilities, but we have to recognize that they are just that, our sensibilities. They are American sensibilities, and we cannot, and what we've so often been guilty of is trying to get the rest of the world to abide by what America or the Western world thinks they should be doing.
Yep. It's exactly what Get Black With Me just said. These are the tactics of the West.
Hey,
they're the only tactics that the West knows. And as far as I can remember, Curtis, I've always heard that Africa was not for homosexuality.
Right. We've known this. I mean,
so
it's not like it's secret.
It's not news.
So the point is that it's part of some sort of propaganda or marketing campaign to craft a narrative that puts Ibrahim Traore in a negative light.
Yep.
Maybe it makes it that much easier to take him out as a leader who they haven't been able to buy him off yet.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been able to kill him off yet.
Yep. Thank God.
So maybe by getting public opinion, a swell of public opinion against him, maybe that's something that'll work.
And that's what it looks like. What's crazy is what you just said is exactly what it looks like. It looks like you're just trying to do anything. We've seen what you've tried to do the last year, the assassination attempts, the General Langley of AFRICOM speaking that he didn't feel confident that Captain Traore was acting in the best interest of the people of Burkina Faso. You don't like the fact that he is, he's in a defense agreement with Russia. So, you can't just come and take him out because he can call Russia and he can, he started his own allies. Boy got his own money, and so it's evident. It's evident that the moves that the West is doing, it's predictable moves. We know it's them doing it, and it just is not working. It's like that game, it no longer works. Like the same move. It's like somebody you play the same game with them. They just keep hitting the same move, and it's worked on you all the time, and you finally figure it out, and they just keep going back to that move, thinking it's gonna work, and you're like, nah. That move don't work no more.
Listen,
come up with some new moves.
On this top 5 edition of This Week in Black America, we could come up with the top 5 ways they've taken out African leaders through the years. And unfortunately, there's probably more than 5 of them. I'm sure there are, the way that they've done it. But
sadly,
clearly, again, this wasn't a conversation about the right or wrong of the policy, or even a debate about that, because to my knowledge, none of us are residents or citizens of Burkina Faso. So clearly, I'm not sure that warrants us to even have an opinion on it. I mean, I guess we can have an opinion. Everybody can have an opinion, but it's not our fight necessarily. Now, you could say, well, I'm never going there. Okay, I mean, I'm sure that's fine, but there are a lot of the point being there are a lot of places throughout the world that have different sensibilities than the United States, and you have no problem going there and abiding by their laws while you're there. So I don't know that Burkina Faso would be anything different, frankly. So
Get Black With Me said that Macron, president of France or prime minister of France, one of them, needs a payoff from Candace Owens.
I don't know what that. I wasn't sure what that meant.
Yeah, go into detail. Is this? I know there's a lawsuit. Is that what you're speaking of? For those of you who may not be aware, Candace Owens, the black journalist, launched a pretty.
Be careful with that word, journalist.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say be careful with the word black.
No, well, that too.
No. Listen, Candace, she launched a public, I don't know, investigation documenting how Brigitte, the wife of Macron, his wife is actually a man.
Right. So a woman. A man
is actually a man, and he's married to a man, and she kind of dangled that out there for like the last year, and he said, all right, I'm going to actually sue you. And I heard her mention that she doesn't have that kind of money. You know, she doesn't have that kind of money.
All right.
What? Okay, so, Macron and France?
Because France is, and we know, we've been talking about it, Traore's put France out, closed the piggy bank that was Burkina Faso. They were able to extract millions, if not billions of dollars out of that economy through its nefarious efforts. And now, Traore kind of put them out. So he's trying to collect some extra dollars from Candace Owen for calling his wife a man.
I agree. Yeah, he definitely needs some money because
he needs an infusion.
A lot of L's.
He needs an infusion.
He took a lot of L's. Getting kicked out. At one point, I heard from Dr. Arikana. Those of you who know Dr. Arikana, she does a lot of talk. She's the former ambassador to the U.S., former UN ambassador to the U.S., and she said that France was taking $500 billion annually out of the continent of Africa.
That's $500 billion.
$500 billion. So obviously that's not all Burkina Faso. Right. But again, Burkina Faso set the stage, getting France's military out, getting France out, taking control of the natural resources. So I'm sure that was a major blow. And what France probably is hoping, I'm sure, is whatever countries we're holding on to, what else they got? Do they got the Democratic Republic of Congo? They got a couple. Yeah. So whatever. No, I think Belgium had that. I don't know. But anyway, Africa has been France's piggy bank forever. And Burkina Faso has really set the stage of, hey, we get these guys out of here, we could actually turn our countries around in less than 1 year.
Yeah. Who knew? Who knew if we actually held on to our own resources, what we could do, what we could build. And that's a message for Black America too. We've been doing it way too long, and there are other ways of doing this, and it's kind of what we've been pointing out on this show and on our other platform. That we've been talking about these sort of things. The sad thing, or maybe not the sad thing, but we've been doing this now long enough to see the things that we've been talking about starting to play themselves out. And it's sad that some of the things are actually coming true, but we're starting to see them play out. The bloodshed of our own against our own. Sadly, the handwriting's been on the wall for a while. So we're starting to see these things, and it's troubling in some respects, but it also should embolden us to be ready, because something's happening here. Something's going on, and we've often said it. We say it all the time. Keep your head on a swivel. That's not to be turning your head. That's so you can be aware. Stay woke. Don't let them take that word from us, right? Stay woke. Stay aware. Stay involved, understanding what's happening around you. Use your critical thinking skills that they are trying so hard to reduce in the American citizenry. They don't want you to be able to think about these things and ask critical questions that have to be answered. So we invite our audience and anybody who is able to think critically to just do that. Ask the right questions. Don't let anybody just tell you, listen, this is biblical. Biblical. Even if somebody's in the pulpit telling you something, the Bible doesn't tell you to just believe it just because they call on God's name, right? You still have to test every spirit. You have to understand what's happening around you. So, it's just stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
I'm going to keep chiming that bell because I think it's more important now than ever. So we're kind of short on time here. I'm not going to blame it on my brother Deshaun, but y'all do know when I was here by myself, we was getting out of here. We was getting out of here on time. So I'm not necessarily blaming it.
Listen,
but when we get together and start talking, this is what happens.
Listen, he because if you have a whole hour and a half to talk with no one else talking, then it's easy to get through.
That's true.
Listen. We not gonna make it to the 2:00 hour. We try. 2:00 is when we kind of hit. We get the from Mickey in the backstage 2:00 hour. Yeah, right. And that's when we start to wrap things up. But I think y'all know us well enough to know that 2:00 hour is when we're gonna end up wrapping up. But real quick, we got let's go 3-4 minutes. I do want your opinion. Mm-hmm. What do we think of the whole Marjorie Taylor Greene thing? Because she's been, we saw her as one of MAGA's champions. Now we see the Israel subject is really a hot subject with MAGA. Like we see the Israel subject is dividing MAGA to the point where now you have Marjorie Taylor Greene, you have Tucker Carlson. They're saying that Charlie Kirk had just started asking about, hey, I think we need to be a little bit more open to the fact that, we need to look deeper and talk more about what's going on with Israel. So coincidentally, before he was killed, that was a perspective he was taking. And what's so funny is Netanyahu tweets about Charlie Kirk's passing, saying that Charlie Kirk always defended Israel. So it's kind of like, why would you specifically tweet about a person supporting your country in the wake of the world not supporting you or the world falling away from supporting you? You mentioned that this guy always supported you, even though it is on record of him saying, well, we criticize everything else. Like, why are we not criticizing Israel? So, what do you think about how that's going, and specifically where somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene finds herself?
Well, admittedly, I will say once again, Marjorie Taylor Greene is not a person that I pay a lot of attention to. I do have heard the rumblings of her kind of being on the outs with the MAGA crowd because she's going further than even they were prepared to go, right? She's taken into places that no one has gone before, in the words of Star Trek. So, yeah, I mean, listen, what it highlights is that you're either all on board with MAGA or you're not. There's really no middle ground. It's like you have to fully support the whole kit and caboodle. You got to buy the election was stolen. You've got to buy the violence in the cities. You've got to buy the whole DEI stuff. Hook, line, and sinker. You have to just absorb and embrace all of the foolishness of MAGA. Now, she's gone a great deal of the way there, but now on this one area, she seems maybe that's a bridge too far, this whole thing with Israel. And if she's unable to pull the company line, as they say, if she's unable to hold the company line as far as the full MAGA agenda, then she's going to be out on the outs with the maggots. I'm sorry, that was a slip. No, it wasn't.
Very appropriate.
If she's on the outs with the maggots, then potentially she could have a problem, right? Who knows? We've seen that this group has no reluctance to use violence. So maybe we see a further escalation of that. Unfortunately, that's the environment that we find ourselves in now, where saying the wrong thing can end up costing you life. And here in America, who knew? Who knew that we would fall to that point where the cornerstone of our American democracy, free speech and expression, is now something that actually could cost you your life. And that's how far we've devolved as a nation. So we are no longer the shining city on a hill that Reagan talked about 40 plus years ago.
I think I find it very interesting. Very interesting take. I agree that, when we look at her, you have to be all in. And the minute you decide you're going to think about a subject that is it's a party subject,
right?
It's a party subject. This is something that we as a party this is how we feel on this subject. If you decide you're going to go outside of that, now there's a divide there. So I think it's just an interesting show to watch. We wouldn't believe that it wasn't a movie if it'd be pretty interesting movie to watch. Show. But unfortunately, this is reality. This is not a movie. It's not a simulation. But it's interesting to see it play out. So we'll continue to keep an eye on these things. We'll continue to follow the story of Tyler Robinson, alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk,
murderer of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, we'll continue to follow what's going on with him, and we'll be back next week, same bad time, same bad channel. Curtis, anything else? Take the people out.
Well, we certainly thank everybody for joining us each and every Friday, as we often do. In fact, we always do right here on Fridays at noon. We appreciate you joining us on This Week in Black America, but we are absolutely tickled pink.
Yes.
That you joined us on the top 5 edition of This Week in Black America. We encourage you to go ahead and go to jointop5.com. Download the game. Hey, I put in my referral code earlier.
Yeah, you can
put my referral code in there, because I'm trying to get ownership in this game. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful game. And we encourage you to share it with your friends, family, your neighbors. Get into some good debates. Get into some good conversations with people. Let's see if we can't get back to having some conversation. Just practice talking to people. And this is a great way to do that. So we are grateful for the birthing of this game, Top 5, and encourage you to support that. Don't forget, we've got a lot of stuff going on too with jointhecall.com, rep2025.com. Don't forget about those things. We encourage you to like and subscribe to that content as well. Set your reminders so that you can join us each Friday when we join you each Friday at noon to give you the week's highlights. And we'll be back again next week. Looking forward to you joining us at that time. And we'll be back again next week on This Week in Black America.